Hey guys, it's been a long time, but I've flown all the way back to California and I'm lucky enough to be sitting down with Dane Reynolds. We're at his house. Let's check him out and see what he's up to now.
Oh God, there's too many jellyfish.
It's such a wonderful ride. It's such a wonderful ride. It's no fool's paradise. It's such a wonderful ride.
Hey guys, welcome to another Occ-Cast. I've flown all the way to California and I am so lucky enough to have Dane Reynolds, the one and only. Dane, thank you for being on the Occ-Cast.
Of course.
Of course.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks, we had a little surf. I got you out of your zone, which I'm thinking is pretty rare.
Yeah, my daily routine is Emelwood, and then thought I was meeting you guys at Emelwood, but he didn't know where Emelwood was, but just so happens that the wave he was checking was way better than Emelwood, so
Yeah.
ended up having actually kind of some fun. For summertime in Ventura, that was fun.
That was.
You wouldn't believe it, but the surf is really bad here in the summer. It's pretty typical to be foggy onshore shit for weeks on end.
Weeks on end. That was fun. The sun popped out.
Yeah.
You were ripping, as always.
sorta.
You been on any trips lately?
Yeah, I've been actually traveling a lot, trying to film for, just kind of collect footage for a part I'm going to try to put out in a month, and getting close to Courtney, my wife, giving
Exciting.
birth to twins.
Exciting.
I've been trying to kind of put in as much time on the road as I could, which sometimes makes you the pressure of like feeling the timeline down makes you make some sort of like odd decisions on trips, you know, like, oh, it could happen, and then so I've been traveling a lot and not really scoring too great
really?
surf, but it's been fun.
Yeah.
A lot of Central America because I'm trying to like
Central
stay
America.
somewhat
It's
close.
close, yeah. Central America. So you went to El Salvador.
El Salvador, Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And then quick trip for Vans to Canada. And what was before that? I don't know. I've been kind of on the road a lot.
Yeah. So really exciting times. You're starting a family.
Yeah,
You
well,
and Courtney.
continuing. Yeah.
Continuing.
We have a son, Sammy.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
Yeah,
How old Sam?
he's 2 and 3 months or something like
Okay.
that.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so he's
So
gonna
you're
be
adding.
a big brother.
Unreal. Big
Twins.
brothers. They're going to have, and do you know what sex?
2 girls coming.
2 girls coming. Twins. Wow, boy, exciting.
Courtney's stoked.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, in Ventura, that's where you grew up, right?
I moved to Ventura when I was 10.
Okay. From where?
Bakersfield.
Okay.
You know where
Oh,
that is?
no, I would not have a clue. Is it inland? It sounds like it's inland.
It's inland,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
It's like maybe 2.5 hours from here
wow.
inland.
So did you surf before you were 10?
Well, my dad grew up surfing, so I had like an interest in it. I was pretty scared of the ocean though. And then my friend moved to Ventura and I spent the summer with him, and we'd go down to the beach every day with a bodyboard and a surfboard, but ride the bodyboard every day. And then eventually graduated surfing, and then my dad got transferred back to LA for his job, and him being a longtime surfer, we ended up moving to Ventura, thankfully, because we were looking around Orange County and stuff too. And I don't know, it would have been trippy. I wonder how different I would have been
Yeah, right.
living in Huntington Beach or something.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I was going to say that because I've never really been up this way. I've always stayed on the other side of LA, and it's so much more mellower on this side.
Yeah, it's cool up here.
Yeah,
I like it, other than really shitty summer surf.
yeah, right. You keep saying, but was there any rivalry when you were growing up between that side of LA or this side of LA, or not really?
Definitely, when I first started competing and
Yeah.
stuff, we have to go down there and surf,
Yeah.
and there was like this sort of thing where you're like, oh, like all the Souther kids are sponsored, like, there was a lot more interest in surfers from down there than up here, or that was what we all thought,
Yeah.
supposedly. But like all the kids down there were like sponsored from an earlier age and like had more support and more of like, I don't know, all the industries down there. So, yeah, there was definitely like a rivalry. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever live there for a while on that side? No.
No.
Always never did.
Always lived in
Faithful,
Ventura and
loyal.
then now here, which is 15 minutes north.
Like your state of origin, you have never left. You've stayed loyal,
Yeah.
which is great. When was your first contest?
I think I was 13 or 14, and it was south side. It's called South Jetty on the south side of the Ventura Harbor, I think I got 4th, but there's like 10 kids in it.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty.
Because you've always been like, you're one of the best, if not the best free surfer, and then you did compete for a while, and I'm sure a lot of my viewers out there, listeners out there would want to know what you prefer, and I know it's probably what the answer is going to be, but you did compete, and you did get into the top 5 one year. I think you ended up 4th.
Yeah, tied Taj for 4th.
Tied Taj for 4th, yeah. You must have got some pleasure out of competing, but
for sure, yeah, there was definitely some really like awesome moments when everything came together and stuff, but I think just I don't know, I spent my whole career like making up excuses in my head and all this stuff, but I just couldn't handle the pressure, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just prefer doing surf trips with friends.
Yeah.
I felt kind of isolated when I was traveling on tour. I actually like am envious of like the Brazilians who have this like traveling like family. They're all friends and they like stay together and stuff, and I never really like had that. I felt kind of like isolated on tour, and then I do trips with my friends. Like I had like a lot of my friends in the surfing community didn't compete, and like say Modern Collective and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd do trips with those guys and just had so much more fun. And then I'd go on tour, like a tour event, and I'd stay at like the team house, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the actual competing, like getting prepared for a heat, I'd just freak out and like surf my heat. I couldn't handle the pressure.
Yeah.
And then I just ended up leaving
too
because I just
stressful.
felt like there was like, I don't know, I just enjoy filming and making films. And after like, seriously, when I got 4th that year, I was just like, I think this is as good as it gets, and I'm gonna like exit now, and I'm gonna go do films. And
Oh, that's cool. You just left at the top.
yeah, 4th's good enough for me.
Yeah. 4th's great.
Yeah, that's pretty
Who's
crazy.
who's your favorite, or maybe not, let's say favorite, but the most exciting free surfer that you surf with?
I think it's pretty obvious that like the best. Okay, so I would have to say the most exciting free surfing that I can ever remember was probably surfing with John in Japan.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't on tour yet,
Oh, okay.
but I just feel like he was developing so quickly at that point. I think he was probably like 18 or 19. And I was pretty just blown away at obviously his technical ability and his airs and stuff like that, but he was just drawing different lines, and this wave that we were surfing was just so perfect, and you could pretty much surf it any way you could, and I felt like I just saw something I had never seen before watching him surf those waves.
Wow, inspired
That was
you.
probably, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then I was going to say your most exciting or favourite guy on tour, and you just mentioned someone that's on tour. It's probably going to be him.
John, of
Yeah.
course, yeah. Philippe was pretty
Yeah.
sick. I don't know. I mean,
Did you watch J-Bay? Any of it?
it's pretty tough. Like it
tough.
would start right, right when I go to bed, and
Yeah.
then end when I woke up. So
Yeah.
I didn't really get to watch it live or whatever. But I checked out the recaps. There's some crazy surfing
Some
going
crazy surfing. I was going to ask, do you watch them all, or I'm guessing you probably don't watch them all.
on. I don't watch them all. If I'm like not doing anything and the waves look fun and whatever, I'll check it out for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely fun to watch.
It
I
is.
enjoy being a spectator more than I do doing it.
Same. So you live pretty close to Channel Islands. You've pretty much surfed those boards forever, haven't you? Have you ever had another company or?
Yeah,
Islands.
pretty much rode them since. So let's see. The neighborhood that I grew up in, there's this kid. I don't know if you know him, but Jeff Brack.
No.
He was amazing. He's such a good surfer. He's
Yeah.
like a year older than me and rode for Channel Islands. And he would sell me his secondhand boards. And then Channel Islands used to do these workouts, or like team sort of like run mock heats and like make us jog. And well, anyways, the deal was I could like, if I could get us a ride, we'd go to these team workouts on like Tuesdays or whatever. And then eventually they're like, I remember, and then afterwards we'd go have dinner at Al's, and Terry would make us dinner. And I remember one day the team manager like was like, hey, like come here. He's like, we'll offer you a deal like $240 for a board, like whatever. And I was like, well, I'm pretty good right now. I've like got a couple boards. I didn't really understand that I was like getting sponsored. And then, yeah, that's how it started. That was like my first sponsorship. And he got me on hardware as well.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Probably not. It was like a thumbs up.
Oh, was it? No.
He has this company. And then
You would have been 13 or something?
14 maybe.
14?
Yep.
Yeah.
13,
And
14.
still riding them now? You shape a little bit too, I believe.
Yeah. I got super into shaping a few years ago. Actually, I had like made some boards before, but just kind of just for fun. And then I was reading the Michael Thompson book. Oh, sorry, not Michael Thompson, Michael Peterson book.
Okay, yeah.
And I just got hyped on that era of surfing when you're like as good as you were a shaper. You built
Yeah.
your own equipment. And I was like, oh, we're like pussies. We don't even make our own equipment. So I like got really into trying to like learn the craft and make good boards. And got really into it for a
Yeah.
while. And then
Because you did
too
compete on
busy,
your
I
own
don't-
boards a little bit too, didn't you, back in when you were competing?
I did. You know what? So the year, this is after I quit doing the tour full
Yeah.
time, but I got second to Kelly. I was riding a different board. I wasn't riding my hand shape. The whole contest, and then broke in the semis, and then I rode my hand shape in the finals, and
You
it went
did.
fine, but
Yeah.
I lost. I got
Yeah.
smoked.
Where was that? France?
France, yeah.
Yeah. No, classic. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Ride your own board in a final. That'd be
Yeah, pretty
epic.
random. It's really difficult making a good surfboard, and it really
Yeah.
makes you like appreciate the sort of craft that goes into it. And there's like a big difference between my boards and like
Alice boards.
yeah. Even when I'd get one that I thought looked good or felt good, and I'd watch the footage, and you see like water coming over the rail here and there, and it's just like really makes you appreciate like
Yeah.
good shapers.
Yeah. You shaped a board called the Sperm Whale. And that was your model. That's a funny name.
That was actually a pretty funny story behind that. Thomas Campbell. Do you know who Thomas Campbell is?
Not-
So-
no.
Okay, so he's like a surf filmmaker,
Okay.
photographer, artist. He had this like concept. He wanted me to shape these like really fucked up looking boards.
Yeah.
Just that would look so unrideable and shitty, essentially.
Yeah.
And he just took a photo, like for the photo.
Okay.
I don't know if he's commissioned by Surfer, but anyways, it ended up on the cover of Surfer magazine. This
Wow.
photo of me with these fucked up surfboards, and one of those was the Sperm Whale, which this is before I was really like into shaping that much. I like had this philosophy. I thought that it was like amazing to shape boards without like templates or measurements or anything. I was just like, oh, free form, like thought it was amazing. So I was just like free forming all these boards, and that one looked like a sperm whale. I don't know if you've
did
seen
it?
it, but it looks just, I don't know, it looks shit.
Yeah. Did it go?
I thought it was amazing. I thought it
Really?
was the best board ever. So I rode it like a ton.
Yeah.
And then I did a trip with Thomas Campbell, who
Yeah.
was there, and like, essentially I made this board because he wanted to photograph me shaping fucked up boards.
Yeah.
And then I took it on this trip, and I was like, this board's amazing. And then I rode it like the whole trip, and he's like, dude, will you get off that thing? That thing's terrible. But
Shut you down.
yeah, he thought it was terrible. But the thing was really fun. And funny thing, so I was writing it and putting out clips on it. And then Channel Islands is like, dude, we're getting all these requests for that thing. Like,
Oh,
people
no.
want to order it. So they're like, can we just like scan it and like we'll just make some random like one-offs? And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
And then like people started writing it and liking it, and it turned
And
into
there's
like a full model.
a full model.
And I still have people come up and tell me like,
They
oh,
love
the
it.
Sperm Whale was the sickest. It's basically a fun
Yeah.
fun board. Like it's,
How
I don't
big,
know,
like,
it's a
shorter?
little. I think it was like 5'4", like
Oh, wow.
probably 22 inches or something.
Wow.
It was just like a
Really
little like
round.
just shit board, but fun.
Little rice bubble.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Dane, what kind of boards are you working on, and what kind of board at the moment do you like surfing for pleasure?
Well, so Britt Merrick made my boards when I was like 14. And then like, I think that was like pretty typical. Like you're a kid and you get boards from Britt Merrick, and then you end up getting boards from Al eventually when you're like legit. And Britt didn't end up shaping for years. And then he just started, well, he was shaping, I think, as like a hobby, but not working at Channel Islands. And then he just came back like 2 years ago, and I've just been working on boards with him. And pretty much just been riding this one model that's like pretty like low entry rocker,
Yeah.
like really mellow curves, and it just seems to work in everything.
Just really plain and
Pretty
simple.
basic, and
Yeah.
it just feels like, I don't know, it reminds me of like Channel Islands prior to like Rookie and Proton and stuff like that, where it's like really mellow rockers and just has good glide, drive, like just good basic all-around board.
No, cool.
Kind of moving away from hectic rockers, you know,
Yeah.
like boards got so curvy.
Because you used to surf a lot of rocker.
Yeah, my boards were really
Yeah.
curvy for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm liking a little bit less rocker,
Yeah.
a little bit more,
Faster.
yeah, a little more
Yeah,
speed and
yeah.
drive. You'd have probably stayed with that, right? You
I
never would have
stayed
gotten
with that.
super
Nah,
rocker.
I
you know?
didn't. Nah, I didn't at all. It's just the simpler, the better for me. Yeah.
What were you riding before JS's?
Rusty. Oh no, Rod Dahlberg actually.
Dahlberg, I remember
Yeah,
seeing the
Dahlbergs.
Dahlbergs.
Rusty at the start, then Dahlbergs. Yeah, they were great. They were great too. The Dahlbergs, the JS's.
Were you kind of the first one to go to
Sensational.
to align with JS?
I wasn't. No, Luke Egan. Yeah, he was
Luke
the first.
Egan,
Yeah.
that's right. And then like Dingo.
Yeah. Yep. And
And you were riding Dahlbergs at that point?
I was. Yeah, I won a world title on Dahlbergs.
On
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I know. I can answer this question. I mean, I know your favourite hobby is probably filmmaking, but have you got any other hobbies apart from chooks and that's all your hobbies? I mean, it's probably taking up all your time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually, I don't know if you call it hobbies. It's all, I don't know. It's like somewhere between hobby and work, but I mean, building this brand has been probably my biggest like endeavor outside of surfing for a long time.
Former.
Yeah,
Huge
former,
hobby.
which is like, just, it's been really fun to learn leadership skills and sort of a crash course in business. And I mean, and then the filmmaking is really cool because it just plugs right into that, doing surf films based around product launches and stuff
So
like
it's
that.
all integrated pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, between that and having a 2-year-old and kids on the way and a big machine of a house that got to take care of, it's pretty busy.
And like 22 pigeons, 6 roosters,
Yeah.
chickens, dogs.
2 dogs.
You've got Pam.
Got Pam.
And she's got her own social, her own
Pam's
Instagram
famous.
account. Pam's famous. Does she talk?
Pam talks, yeah.
Yeah.
Pam talks a lot.
Own Instagram. Check out Pam.
Pam loves Ferrari boys.
Pam loves Ferrari boys. Look, how many followers you got?
Oh, I don't even know, 60,000 maybe or
Really?
something.
Wow,
That's pretty good.
That is good.
So how that came about was Courtney, my wife,
Yeah.
since I've known her, essentially, like her hobby is like anthropomorphizing animals, which is like applying human traits to them, and we get a big kick out of it around the house. And she would like talk from the perspective of Pam and stuff, and then she started the Instagram kind of for funsies, and then started and I like encouraged her to do the talking because I got a kick out of it, and then people actually started following, and then she's built a brand around Pam's persona. It's insane. People probably think people think we're insane. I don't know.
Well, that's it.
But people seem to get genuinely like
Yeah.
the Instagram, so
I love
So-
it. I'm following.
yeah.
You got chickens. How many chickens do you have?
Oh man, I don't 6 maybe?
6. Have you got names for them?
Yeah, but I wouldn't be able to.
You can't tell.
Courtney would know the names of them all. I know the Roosters Junior,
Okay.
and then there's Beth. These are new ones. I forget. Courtney
Okay.
named them.
They
I
make
should know.
They make eggs for you.
They make eggs.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And you've got pigeons.
We've got pigeons.
20.
Actually, don't know those. So they're pretty much like a buffet for hawks.
Are they?
So,
Oh.
and then they breed too.
You let them fly,
Yeah. So they fly.
and they come back.
They hopefully come back. They do pretty well, but seasonally there's this one hawk that comes back that just like tunes into their schedule and just ambushes them.
Wow.
So, yeah, their population just goes up and down.
Up and down. and back to the waves. Rincon, I've never surfed there. I'd love to surf there, but I'm sure it must be crowded like our local break snapper at home. You surf there. Hard to get waves, or for you must be easy?
Snapper is really hard to get waves. Rincon's really hard to get waves. I'm like such a grom in the lineup. I still like sit on the inside and try to like vulture scraps.
Yep.
And then like, I don't know. I'm really shit at positioning. That's like, I feel like that was like my, you know how like in a video game, there's stats, it's like it's like power, airs, positioning, I'd be like a 0 at positioning. I'm
Really?
so shit at positioning and catching waves. And then like you throw in a bunch of people in the mix, and I'm just terrible at catching waves. So, yeah, the crowds are shit.
Yeah. When I think of Rincon, I think of Tom Curran.
Yes.
Was he your hero growing up?
Tom was definitely my hero growing up, yeah. I used to watch Searching for Tom Curran, like pretty much on repeat.
Yeah.
Still the sickest film.
Did you find him?
He's elusive. He actually, so the wave that I grew up surfing in Ventura was localized similarly to Silver Strand, or maybe even more so. And it still, if anywhere, still has that sort of notorious sort of stigma about localism. It'd be there. But Tom like kind of has the free pass. He's surfed there since I was a kid, so I would surf out there and
So you get
see
to surf
Tom
with
all
him?
the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
and it was cool. Still see him out there
Yeah.
on a skimboard.
On a skimboard, I've seen him. That's crazy. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
believe you can ride that thing. I read the Declaration of Independence when you did leave the tour, and I was impressed. That was like so articulate, and you're a really good rider. Ever thought about writing a book?
No, I thought about writing like a sitcom.
Okay, classic. Well, you're in the right spot with all the famous actors around here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That thing's kind of embarrassing now. I think I was just like trying to figure out, I don't know. I was like all emo and trying to figure out why I couldn't handle the pressure or whatever, you know. But I actually was curious when I knew you were coming up today.
Yeah.
How old were you when you went back on tour and won a world title?
Yeah, well, I left in my late 20s, and I took like 5 years off, and then came back to it. Yeah, and so.
So like 30 or 31 you came back?
Yeah, about 31.
And did you win?
You mean you're thinking about doing it yourself?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I just was curious though,
curious,
because
yeah.
that's actually exactly my age.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't imagine like
Doing that.
doing that, but I couldn't imagine. Well, I don't know. That's actually, I was gonna say like someone my age winning a world title with how good like kids are surfing these days, but actually
It's changed.
just with
I
like
mean,
Mick,
yeah.
they're just so smart and consistent
Yeah.
and stuff. They still are definitely right there, but
Yeah, but yeah, and then now the Felipes and that, like, they weren't there back in my day. You know what I mean? There's so the levels. just
so
gone up
were you
so much.
31 when you won the world title?
Yeah, 30.
Was it 99?
99, yeah. I was about 31, 32.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But
That's pretty insane.
yeah.
Comeback.
Yeah, thank you. Kelly wasn't competing that year, and you should never let the truth interfere with a good story. But
Really? You think that matters though?
oh, I think it might have. So
And then, well, and
yeah.
then back. Remember we were talking about last time I saw. Or I don't know if that was really the last time I saw you, but when I saw you in the liquor store
Yes.
after that contest, you
Yeah.
like almost requalified that year.
that was funny.
Insane.
Yeah, that was. I've got such a vivid memory of that because I was so bummed. I made it through so many heats, and then I had Pat Gadauskas like the round before the quarters, and I had him, and then he got a wave, and he was on the shore.
And you did good at Margaret's that year too.
Yeah, before that I made the semis. Yeah,
And you like were like.
I wasn't trying to qualify.
But you were like
I could've.
technically like close.
I could have, and then I blew that heat because I took a wave and I shouldn't have taken it. I didn't need to, and he got back out and got the score right at the end. But then I went to Brazil to commentate, and there was a 6-star there that I should have stayed for because I was like number 20-something in the ratings. But Billabong are like, no, you're going to Peru. You need to host a trip. And I'm like, just do what you're told.
How old are you now?
I'm 51.
Wow, that wasn't that long ago too. So you would have been like
That wasn't that long ago. I was
45
40,
or
yeah,
6?
yeah.
that would have been so sick.
I'm still thinking about making a
So
comeback.
maybe I'll make a comeback in like
There you
15
go.
years.
Yeah, you got time. You got heaps of time. But what about marine lay production? Do you still have that?
Actually, I'm getting an email. I got an email today about if I wanted to renew my trademark or whatever on it, because I pretty much am not doing anything with it anymore. But
okay.
I was thinking about maybe doing like an archive site or something with it if I could find all the videos.
Really? They're everywhere.
I have no idea where they would be, but
Oh, well.
someone might have them.
This day and age, you think you'd be able to find them quite easily.
Yeah.
And you're still producing your own content though, but not just under marine layer.
Well, I mean,
The next clip.
the
that's coming
last
out.
film I did was under Marine Layer Productions,
okay.
but I kind of saw that as like the final one. That's what I
Yeah.
thought at the time.
Uh-huh.
Just, I don't know, I'm started a clothing label and I'm doing most of my stuff. I'm going to do probably most of my films through that. And it's just you don't want to be spread too thin and putting like everything
Yeah.
in different places. I'm just focusing on that for now, but I'm still making films. I just don't think I'll call it Marine Layer Productions anymore.
Okay.
But maybe an archive site in the future if I could find stuff.
And you must enjoy making the films and editing that and stuff.
I do, yeah. I really enjoy, first of all, the surfing part.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I was like obsessed with surf films when I was a kid. And I just like, when I first started doing surf trips, I'd film everything on the trip and make like a video out of it. And I just like, I don't know, it's fulfilling to be creative with
Yeah.
your surfing and to like do trips with your friends and make films out of it. That's, I don't know, that for me feels like the most natural way to like apply my surfing
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
to films.
Oh, sweet. You do a lot of filming with Craig Anderson. I went on a trip with him once. He's an incredible surfer, isn't he?
Yeah, I remember that. And you guys had you went to South Coast?
Yeah, we
and got
did.
sick
Kiama.
waves? Yeah,
That wedge, and he was doing hairs about like 20 feet out of the water.
I actually started this brand with Craig. Me and
Oh, you
Craig
did?
started
Oh,
it. Yeah,
so former is with Craig.
me and Craig
Sweet.
started it with two of our friends who are skateboarders. One of them passed away, but so it's me, Craig, and a skateboarder that own
Okay.
it, and hired two of our friends and
How's it
trying to
going?
make shit work. It's been kind of like a crazy learning experience, crash course
Crash
in
course.
business.
Yeah.
But it's pretty fun and exciting. Another like creative endeavor that's been pretty fun.
No way.
And we essentially want to do like film projects and I don't know. It started kind of naively, like we want to have a clothing brand to fund our filming projects and kind of create a culture around it and pick up kids that
Yeah.
we like and back and try to kind of mentor them and
Very nice.
yeah, it's kind of in its beginning stages. We only launched in February.
Okay.
So.
So your grandpa Bob gave you your first camera, a Super 8 camera, when you were 18. How's that? That was your introduction to filming, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I was already really interested in filmmaking, but through the very narrow scope of surf films, that was, my interest. And I think like watching Feral Kingdom, like Sonny Miller films,
yeah,
where there's
yeah.
like this certain look, and I was like, what is that? And
Yeah.
someone told me it's Super 8, and my grandpa like had a Super 8 camera, so started carrying that around and filming stuff. Probably around like First Chapter was a film that I did forever ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where that started.
You mean you like that, it's like the Jack McCoy, like when it's 16mm, like the real grainy look. It's way cool, eh?
Yeah, like film burns and
Yeah.
kind of like fucked up looking, and like also when you shoot Super 8 at like 18 frames a second, it has that like speed that's like
Yeah.
a little faster than reality that
Yeah.
like just has a specific look that I don't know, for me there wasn't like that much access to it at that time. Now I feel like there's almost been a super big resurgence in it, and it's like pretty popular and like easy to access. Maybe just internet makes everything super easy to
Yeah,
access and
yeah.
learn about, but it felt like I was discovering something, like getting a old camera that my grandpa used in the
Yeah.
60s or whatever, it like felt like this really cool discovery
Yeah.
at the time. But yeah, obviously it's pretty accessible, and it's funny, every single filmer these days carries a Super 8 on.
Yeah.
They have their red and a Super 8. It's
right.
like this-
Like 50 grand and
Yeah.
$200.
yeah, exactly.
And what do you think about social media?
I don't know what I think about it. What
That's
do you
a
think
weird
about
question, eh? You like just put you on the spot.
it? And
I mean, compared to
you know what? Actually,
16mm and now.
now there's a
social media.
16mm app.
Yeah, right. They can just make it 60. Yeah, exactly.
It looks exactly the same, dude. You couldn't even tell the difference.
Are you serious?
Probably.
It probably is.
No, I think there's the VHS app. Have you seen that? That's
No.
like looks exactly like a VHS camera.
Wow. Yeah. Social media. I mean, you got your own Instagram and don't use it a whole lot, but
Should use it more.
it's the way of the world, isn't it now?
It's insane. I don't think I could have like, if I was an 18-year-old surfer right now, I don't know. I guess they just grow up in that environment, but
Yeah.
I feel like when I was a kid, it was like shameful to be self-promotional, and now you have to make a career in surfing.
Yeah.
You have to, I don't know, it's trippy. And I guess I'm learning that late in life.
Late in life.
I would be confusing if I was a kid, I feel
Yeah.
like, knowing how to promote yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, do you send emails and stuff?
Yeah.
You do?
I'm
Wow.
good with emails.
Oh, yeah.
You?
Right. I've never done it.
You've never done an email?
Promise you, I've never
That's
sent
insane.
an email.
That's so hard to
Like,
believe.
I know.
Do you have an email address?
Yeah, I do, but I don't look at it. Yeah. I just have one because, you know, sometimes you got to have one to do stuff, but I've never sent one and never
That's insane.
received one. I'm a
I love
dinosaur. I'm the last dinosaur. And I'm not converting.
And Donald Trump, I think he uses paper only. He doesn't use the internet or something,
He
right?
does it? Yeah.
That's something like that.
Are you a Donald Trump fan?
No.
No, yeah.
I mean, I really like listening to the news now because it feels like
It's funny.
every day is just this insane new, like,
Comic.
yeah. It's insane. But no, I can't say I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I hated him before he ran for president,
Yeah, right.
though. Like,
Yeah.
you see his head on, like,
Yeah.
these,
Weird shows.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it just, he always seemed just not like a very good person. Now he's
Yeah, I thought it was
leading the
full.
free
We're in
world.
Australia going, is this really happening? Is he
Oh,
really
I thought it
gonna
was a
win
joke the whole time.
Yeah,
man.
we
And
thought it was a joke too, and then all of a sudden he got it, and we were like, "What? Is that for real?"
Yeah, how's he viewed from like Australia perspective?
Yeah, I mean we're allies of you guys, obviously. So you know our prime minister and that have to accept it, but in the general public, they think it's a bit strange.
Yeah, for sure.
Your favourite wave in the world? Chuck just answered it for you.
Yeah, what did he say?
I'm not too sure. I don't speak Chuck. It's a rooster though, sorry.
Favorite wave in the what's your favorite wave in the world?
What? Oh, shit! The rooster just answered it for me. I do speak rooster. It's it must be G-Land. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
G-Land.
Speed reef, high tide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say my favorite wave I ever surfed was in Japan, but it's not always there.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's like I think I surfed it like the best it's been in forever, so I
Right.
can't really say that
Yeah.
that's
Ty-
my favorite wave
But
because
that was your favourite sesh, I guess.
I would have to say, yeah.
Yeah. Is that on the Typhoon Swell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Wow. Whereabouts?
Close to Tokyo.
Oh, wow,
Not that far from Tokyo.
Wow.
Um,
Like the Shonan kind of area, somewhere around there.
yeah, but I guess it doesn't. It's
Right,
like not
yeah.
there all the time.
Yeah.
But I guess it was the best it's been forever. But
Who'd you surf that session with in Japan?
John, that was the
John,
session
you told
I was
us about
speaking
it.
of. Yeah, John was definitely showing his. It was just perfect waves, and I just didn't know John was that amazing. But I'd been aware of him since he was a kid because he was like famous kid, and then that was where I first really saw him like show how good he was. It was pretty impressive.
And now I can't believe how good he's surfing now.
I know. Yeah, he's incredible.
He's even got better. It's like next level, hey.
Yeah, he's insane.
I don't know how he got beaten at J Bay. That was weird, but
I didn't even see that.
you didn't see that. Yeah, Federico Marias, he needed like an 8.9, and even though I love Freddie, but I was like watching it going, I don't think he's got it. But the judges gave him a 10.
Really?
I was like, what?
There's a lot of 10s happening.
Yeah,
over
wasn't there? And there was a lot of claims too.
The claims are
They
insane.
were claiming, and the wave's still going perfect, like for another 100 yards, and they were like, "Oops, the wave's still going. Hang on." What excites you about surfing right now?
Doing it.
Just doing it.
Getting good waves
Yeah.
is pretty exciting. It still somehow hasn't really lost its satisfaction level.
You haven't lost, not at all, eh? No.
No, it's still. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's like the most addicting
Yeah.
thing in the
Good
world.
waves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, you know, what's crazy about talking about wave pools with you
Yeah.
is, I wonder if perfect waves will like lose their
Yeah. I
like-
wonder too.
like luster.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
'Cause
That's weird. It's like
I feel like the reason the good waves are so like you're so addictive to trying to get them is because they never happen.
It's so hard to get.
Yeah.
And soon they're going to be right there.
Yeah,
In front of you constantly. Good point. And what inspires you then? Just surfing. I mean, we surfed today, and it wasn't very good, but we came in very happy.
I was pretty stoked
Yeah.
on that. But that was pretty good quality for summertime in Ventura.
Yeah.
I think still just watching surf films.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of surf films, old and new, and just get psyched on people's styles and the music and surfing together. And I would say that's my number one form of inspiration as far as surfing goes.
Yeah. You released chapter 11 8 months ago. How was that received?
I felt like it was received really well, but I also don't feel like anyone would come up to me and tell me it sucked.
Really? I don't think they would either.
Yeah, I don't. It's not something. I feel like even if people hated it, a lot of people would have told me they liked it. So it's probably I probably have a skewed response on
Okay.
it, but it seemed like a lot of people connected with it, and hopefully.
Where were you
something
filming
from
that
it.
basically? All over or?
Well, what happened? So, I did a film called First Chapter with Quicksilver when I was like 21, and then when Quicksilver went bankrupt and we parted ways, I felt like the name wrote itself essentially. Chapter 11,
all right.
bankruptcy, whatever. And I was like, thought it was so clever and amazing, and I just wanted to put out a surf film
Yeah.
based around it. And then I just wanted to kind of tell the story of, like, first it started, I just wanted to tell the story of how our relationship, like, fell apart, essentially. Because I just thought it was interesting and different than people would have thought.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of started sounding like a bitter, like, whiny pro surfer. So the story kind of shifted, and I started talking about, like, pressure and just essentially why I fell in love with surfing and how I couldn't handle the pressure. It was just like kind of the trajectory of my career. I told like that story, and I hope it resonated with a lot of people. It felt like it resonated with a lot of people, and people could pull something from it and connected with it. So,
That's cool.
so I felt like that was a success.
Unreal. I don't watch a lot of surf films, but I'm going to go watch that one.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah. I know you love to surf with Craig Anderson, and now you're partnering with him in your new brand. But who are some other guys that you like to surf with?
I like surfing with Craig because he's really mellow in the water. He's not competitive, and he likes going on different waves than myself. So we're compatible surf partners.
Oh,
he likes to go left.
You go right.
He doesn't look at rights or whatever. We're surfing a beach break.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like a mellow environment, and I get stoked seeing him land something big, and I think vice versa. It's like non-competitive. It just feels like I don't know. I don't like surfing with guys who get all competitive, like get bummed if you do something cool. It's like the worst feeling. And so I kind of, and also a big part of like traveling these days for me is just doing trips with people I like being around, like outside of the water. So that'll be like Craig, Dylan Perillo, Brandon Gibbons, my friend Matt that we were surfing with today. Just guys that I like being around and surfing with. And
Matt, he surfs good.
yeah, he's a good surfer.
Yeah.
It's funny because like now with magazines pretty much being gone, there's no such thing. When I was a kid, it would be like magazines would put together trips. There'd be like film production crews that put together trips and make films. Sponsors would put together trips. So I was like constantly getting on trips with like random people, which was awesome. But now it's like you create your own trips,
You gotta
and
do
your
it
own
yourself.
content.
Yeah.
And so I just like do trips with people that I like, and we collect.
You've been pretty much doing that anyway.
Yeah, but that's like, it's pretty trippy. It's
Yeah, I know,
changed
it
so
is.
much in 10 years.
It is, how to say it, absolutely. When's your next clip coming out again, did you say?
I'm thinking like August 15th.
Okay.
We're gonna do a premiere in LA.
Okay.
And launch like the new collection for Former. Yeah, so I'm not gonna be able to film for it anymore. I feel like you never have enough, but
Yeah.
I've had a lot of misadventure with filming on this.
On this one? Okay.
Just like making random calls on swells that aren't really there, and I got locked up in Portugal for 2 days. Yeah.
What happened? Tell us the story.
So I was flying to Portugal to film, to meet Craig. Craig was already over there. I'd called Craig and told him that Portugal was going to be fun, and he's like, got all psyched, went there. I had this Vans thing that I had to do, so I missed the first part of the swell, but I was still coming. And then boarded the flight I had a connection in England, boarded the flight, got on, passed out on the flight. It's like a 2-hour flight. Woke up, got off the plane in Lisbon, all stoked. Walked to the passport thing, and I was like, holy shit.
Oh no.
Looked through my bag, couldn't find my passport, so I don't know if it was like sitting on my lap and someone snagged it or if I left it on the plane or what, but they called like the ground crew and they're like, nope, nothing here. And so I was like, shit, this sucks. Well, I'm gonna probably just get sent right back to London.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they're like booking me in and they're like, you're staying the night here. And I was like, shit, like some airport hotel, whatever,
Yeah.
minor. I got a bunch of stuff on the computer, emails I could do and whatever. And the next thing you know, they're asking for my shoelaces and my phone, and they're documenting everything that I'm giving to them. I'm like, oh shit, this is not gonna be fun.
Taking me.
Yeah, so it was like a legit jail.
Oh no.
Got locked up for 48 hours and give me a 2-minute phone call, and I called my wife and was like, I don't know what's going on, I'm getting locked up. They're taking my shoelaces. For some reason, that was like a big thing to me though, because that means that there's like danger in there.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
people are gonna use it as a weapon or whatever. So they gave me my 2 minutes. I called Courtney and freaked her out, and so. Anyways, I was in there for 48 hours with no communication to anywhere, and then some of the local surfers had rallied and got me a police escort to the U.S. Embassy where they're going to issue me a temporary passport.
Yeah.
And then when I got out and the police were giving me the transport, they were tripping out because that's super unusual to get any special treatment like that. They're like,
Who are you?
yeah, who are you? If we Googled your name, would you come up? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. So they Google my name, and everything that comes up is fuck Portugal. They locked up Dane. Says it blew up in the surf media.
Oh no.
Yeah, and they're like, wow, you better say something nice about us now because we're hooking you up. Anyways, I get out of the jail after 48 hours, get to the coast with Craig and Brendan Gibbons right after the swell's gone. And there's 4 or 5 days after that where it was foggy onshore, 1 foot shit for 5 days. And I was just like, what am I doing? Too old to be filming for surf clips. This is so stupid. I should just be home. And then, anyways, I've had just a couple sort of, haven't really scored filming for this clip, but then you go through it and there's still there's stuff, but you always want more.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to score on one trip.
Oh, Dane, this has been all time. Thank you for letting us into your world, and good
Yeah, of
luck
course.
with the bubs coming up.
Thank you very much. You too.
Yeah.
Well, you already had it,
I've
but
got one.
good
Yeah.
luck.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, little Jasper. And that's another Occ-Cast. Yo.
Oh god, there's too many jellyfish.
It's such a wonderful life. It's such a wonderful life.